Hello, everybody. So, just going to wait for people to tune in. And for the title, for that matter, for the scrollers. Because I'm thoughtful like that, you know. So let me just put that there. Sometimes it's the piano, sometimes it's the circle icon, and sometimes it displays image from the video. So just going to put that there. I do see somebody's here. I'm going to come back to the tab in just a moment. Actually, just a moment here. I appreciate your patience. I'm just going to be a couple minutes here. I'm going to do a couple songs, as you can see. Okay, just to cover that base. So I almost used my other device, but I decided to use the computer, even though it was a bit wonky at the end of last night's stream. But the when I reopened the browser, it didn't reopen my tabs. I'm hoping they might come back eventually. But and I went to G suggested try and go live again, and I went and tried to do that, and it said I already was and gave me the option to wrap it up then. Otherwise, it would have been rolling all night, but not much happening, in the latter half. And I thought the laptop is less, or the cell phone is less likely to do those things. They're often not as slow as a computer can be. I don't know, they're just less wonky a lot of the times. But anyway, but then for some reason, maybe no particular reason. It's always good to have reasons, but I decided to do it on the laptop. So here I am. The other thing is I may or may not sing the songs I'm going to do. I'm not super familiar with them. And then the other thing is, one of the songs underneath it had a comment on the main video that was saying something to the effect of, "Oh, that's weird. See, it didn't, unless it just became the case. It still says there's one. Maybe it's in the line. Anyway, I kind of wait till those people want to wait till there's people here. I'll keep it that way. Anyway, and it said that whatever the math is, I think. Oh, I forget. Let me look at that actually just for a moment so I can get it accurately. It's kind of sad, but let's see here. But I think that people will be able to hear it, and it's a very brief thing, and then I'll do the. Hello, Mackenzie. How are you? Oh, so glad to have you here. I've missed you the last few times. I guess it's later in your day there, so really nice to have you here. I remember the number 19, but ironically, she says 22. That may or may not have been when I first met Ray, if I knew her for 10 to 12 years. But by the way, I hope you're doing well today. Don't forget to give a like. It seemed like that was maybe being a bit wonky last night. I'm doing all right. I'm not allowed, so I haven't been. Oh, what was that about? Anyway, so 32 is always a special number for me because unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at things, I guess, my one friend passed away at that age. It was really weird to see that 19, whatever it was, 90 something in a playlist, 19 out of 90 something. And if it either equaled 32, thank you for the like, or it was the age she would have been that day, I believe, which would have been her second birthday in heaven. Anyway, but this person says from 22 to 32, they struggled with, feeling empty and things like that, sadness and stuff. And that's just so sad because it's such a long time. But she also goes on to say something to the effect of, if you're reading this, I wish you all the happiness you deserve. Um, how come you're not streaming on YouTube Shorts? Because I don't really do shorts very often. Interesting that this is the first time you're asking that. I mean, it may look like I do because G turned highlights on, and I'm mixed about that because, I mean, sometimes it selects a good section, sometimes it selects a kind of not favorite section of a long video, but usually it does them private first, and then we can adjust it from there. So I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so you don't necessarily need the message about about you know always being kind, loving, having empathy, no matter what you're going through. I don't feel like you need that message because you are that way. But some people might need the reminder. So there you have. But yeah, I don't know. I woke up with a bit of a sore throat again today and a sensitive, tender ear. It was actually 2 days in a row, and today was actually kind of the worst with that because I almost couldn't get my. It was also affecting my neck, and I almost couldn't get my head off the pillow. I had to take the pillow and go like this, and straight and forward, and almost sit up, and then it was fine. And it hasn't been that sore since. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm fine that you're asking it, and I have the phone just kind of half teetering on the laptop here, but I'm glad that you're asking it. But I don't know. Okay, maybe you're not asking. Maybe you were asking it to then put passion. What's the difference between empathy and compassion? Passion. Um, yeah, pretty much. I think that they're definitely similar, and they're both good things. So that's the main thing. So were you at work today? How was that? What was this about the phone that you were talking about, by the way? And yeah, so anyway, one, because I didn't think I was going to roll super long. Two, because I like the bigger screen. I have the option to do so. Three, because it did relaunch. So I don't know, maybe it won't be wonky. And I don't know, I just wanted to do it this way. So here I am. It's good to have good reasons sometimes, but oh, really? Are you? It's Mark. You're on holiday right now, I believe, because someone told me that the other day. That was also in the UK. Here we had it a day or two ago. Also, I believe well, I don't really want to necessarily. I mean, one of these isn't from the afterlife. I'm so glad that you got here, and you got here pretty quick in under 10 minutes. But I did feel, I didn't want to be super specific on this, but I did feel JP's energy and Denny and yeah, Jillian. I've never done that, but I mean, it's nice. Oh, Easter. Okay, that was my break. So what I did anyway, just that your family was trying to have a more balanced day of activities, except for today. So you're not working for the week or what? Anyway, JP, Dennis, and there was a couple in Italy that I've started following. Yeah, they're doing a lot. Yeah, they're writing on their Shabbos recipes, but they're lovely, lovely. However, they were finishing up a meal with some tiramisu and wine in their video, and I'm not too sure what they were planning to do next. So I mentioned that I was rolling. They may come here then. They may come here when they're unwinding after probably doing a stream at the hotel room, which is the first time that I saw them. They saw that they were floor level, their room, and they had boats going past, and then you kind of see a crash, and of course the light was shining on the water, and it was really nice, and they had soothing voices, and it was a lovely chat. And then I had to go to one of their other videos to actually see them. I didn't have to, but I wanted to. So, because it's nice to put a face to a name. And in fact, somebody did that the other day in the stream for me, and I really appreciated it because yeah, it's nice to be able to do that. So Mackenzie, if you I mean, Kate just sounds like okay. Let's say if you wouldn't mind putting a picture of you as your profile picture, that would be lovely. Uh, it would just be a small circle anyway. So, um, and I want to get to the songs in a moment. Also, oh wow, that's a long time. Also, or even if you just briefly did it until I saw it, that would also be fine with me. I'm just curious. Uh, also to see how much you look at Rumble. Um, I'm also trying to decide before I do this music because yeah, they were having their coffee dessert. If I should heat up my coffee, I had a little bit of it, and then when G left this morning, I actually put it down on a chair that also had a little bit of other stuff on it too. And then I forgot that it was there. I thought I'd brought it back here, but that must have been other. It has been other mornings. Did what? Sorry, what? Um, anyway, so then I went and there was another cup in the fridge, and I was like, I thought that cup was there too. Why am I not seeing it? And then for some reason, I found myself in the foyer and found it. So it's been sitting there since. I don't think it was this that you missed, but I was saying that I had one of my viewers that I've gotten to know update her profile picture with, and this was kosher because it was her and it wasn't, this is because, I'm a good person. Other people should be good people. It's all good. And I'm not saying you'd be this way, but there's a second person here right now. Maybe thank you for the second like, by the way, which either proves that I'm already familiar with you and you're a good person. Or that and agree with what I'm saying. Yeah, either way. So basically, she updated a profile picture as a picture of her. I mean, the way I said it, I don't think that's what you misheard because I wasn't short on words when I said it. But yeah, I'd love to even briefly see, but like make sure that I do see. Anyway, so this coffee was sitting out from it probably cooled off at about 8:15, 8:30, and it's uh, um, actually 10:32 right now. I had okay, yeah, and that's the thing. So I did actually decide to monetize this video because you never know what someone might want to donate for to, and I believe it will go to So because that's what we you know already have, even if we don't have something else up for it. Um, Profile picture. I mean, I can't say it more clearly. I don't think. I don't know if you're having an audio issue. Well, you said that there was an advert, and hopefully they're good adverts, and hopefully they're not too disruptive. I have it on the low setting. That's a nice thing that I have the option to do with the computer, because on the cell phone I don't seem to. But it's nice to have the option to, and it's only if it's monetized to select advertisements. And like I say, I have it on the low setting, so hopefully it's not too disruptive. But yeah, I'll watch for that picture of you even briefly. It'd be nice to see it. Well, I think it seems like I can't monetize a particular video. Some people say, is your channel monetized? Well, yes, but you can also specify whether you want a certain video to be or not. At least try to. But anyway, so in order to monetize it, I think I have to allow adverts. Is how it looks upon the setup. I'm just getting used to doing them on this device again. So yeah, hopefully it's not too much of or sponsors. It's just there's sometimes, especially when you're watching short music videos, which won't be this apparently because it's already 15 minutes in. Okay, I'm just figured, fair is fair. You're seeing me. I know you're great and everything, but I don't know why you're so shy either. But anyway, basically, Grammarly. There's a lot of that, and people need to learn. I mean, it's okay to have a little bit of. I don't know. People need to rely less on assistive technology and be able to do more themselves, I think. And of course, of the right things. But yeah, so basically, yeah, so I'm not too sure. I'd have to make a whole new pot of coffee because I was finishing the one off. I know some people might think it sounds weird or whatever, but I was finishing the one off from last night. And I just feel like that sat out too long. Am I wrong? Should it be all right? maybe I've done this before with, not gotten ill, but I have a semi busy weekend. But I don't know. I might make some more coffee at lunch. The other thing is I've had a bit of a, not just because of streaming, I also have aphantasia. I also live with somebody. So and most of us talk quite a bit every day. If you're a live streamer, you talk even more. Well, I would heat it up, of course. Yeah, because cold coffee, I don't like. Cold tea, I can, if it's just regular tea, I'm not big about herbal teas, even though I do like my coffee quite sweet. And usually a herbal tea is quite sweet. But yeah, so and if I make it from the coffee maker, although we have an old one and it's sometimes finicky, so sometimes I still have to heat it up. But when you think about people heating something that you didn't necessarily get hot, which you should have, but if they're really busy in a big place at a restaurant in a microwave, I know Mark was talking about that the other day and thinking that it was wrong. Of the things that could happen that we'd rather not think about in restaurant kitchens, I don't really think that that's necessarily the worst. And I don't need to hear about the things that people have heard about or might want to bring up on that topic because, yeah, I mean, I don't go to restaurants often, but when I do, I don't want it to be kind of spoiled by thoughts about that kind of stuff. But anyway, so yeah, I'd have to make a new one, and which I mean, it is before noon, so I'd be kind of fine with that. And I think my throat, because I get sometimes a bit congested when doing long streams, and I was just gonna do the two songs, maybe a bit of chat. I guess we'll see. I don't have any plans today. I almost did, but we moved it to next week, and yeah, a little bit of business on the weekend. I do like good kebab. Is that it? I'm thinking of the chicken kebabs and that kind of meat and veggies mostly, which I used to eat all the time growing up that way. But I think you mean nabob. Do you have nabob there? Bob's a name that keeps coming up. From Bob the Drag Green to friends, formerly friends, Bob, and yeah. Anyway, and other fun Bobs. No, like okay, I don't know. King, Queen, Prince, Princess. Anyway, I don't know why you're mentioning a kebab, unless that's what you're eating right now. But anyway, I do want to get to the music, so I'm going to do that in just a moment here. A bit of a different setup here today. Will I be able to be seen if I do that? I'm almost wondering if maybe I should have used the. Hi, Kirsty. How are you? Maybe I just should put this on the other side here, where I sometimes have it. Welcome to the other side. Yeah, it's 10:37. I think I would like to sip on coffee, not just cold water. I hate to delay the song so more. So maybe what I'll do, like I know that two of you that are here are familiar with me, and I don't know if you've met each other yet, but you're familiar with me, and you're cool, and you're kind of just go with the flow. Two of you have actually watched me for more than 2 hours on one occasion, or more than an hour and a half on one occasion. I am. Well, I guess yeah. Well, I thank you. I mean, oh, really? Oh, what are you heading out? What are you up to? Can you stay at least for a song? Because what I was thinking, and thankfully Kirsty's here, and if there's somebody else commenting, I'm not seeing them. So as long as they're not trolls, I thought it made you. As long as they're not trolls, have a great day. Blue job. Oh, you're going to get a arm poke. Are you? Is that what you're saying? I know that measles are kind of back in Canada a lot right now. I haven't had one in a while, actually. But anyway, but apparently, if you've had it as a kid, you're not likely to get it otherwise. So, but anyway, we don't have to go too much into that. But are you comfortable with that kind of thing? It's usually pretty brief, but I know a lot of people aren't. Anywho, so what I was going to say is going to do a song, try to do it. First time I've ever played it. I partly think that I'd like to have drums involved, but which would mean, right, which would mean, and it's actually kind of ironic because that's what I was mishearing the one song as. Uh, the keyboard, and it's just no there, but I had a bit of a mixed feeling, and I don't know, it's quite warm and bright and sunny there right now, and it's a little bit more comfortable over here, even without the back on my chair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this song, Happy Echo, and then I'm going to maybe make my coffee, and then I'll play the other song, and then I might have my lunch. We'll just kind of roll with it. I guess I do have a plan today. Actually, Kirsty, you know these people. I will be ristretto espresso, a latte to espresso. Thank you for the third person. Hopefully, you're here thinking happy, positive thoughts, enjoying this. Otherwise, watch something you'd rather enjoy. But otherwise, glad to have you here. But yeah, I'll be watching Mark and Kelly, of course, this afternoon. Oh, sorry, that came through from the third person. I guess that I'm just realizing now. You're saying ristretto espresso. I mean, we are talking about coffee, so that might make sense. Flower power. That's always awesome. Yeah, so Mark and Kelly this afternoon, as you well know. And if you don't, you should. Now it says there's just one person here, but that could be inaccurate. And I may forget to toggle if I'm really kind of, enthralled with the streaming screen. I may forget to toggle, so you can see the highlighted comment. There's one person I'm kind of hoping shows up, and I don't want her to feel ignored. But other than that, yeah, again, only if they're not trolls. Also, Kirsty, I thought that, unless I either accidentally undid it or because it looked like you delete some of Lucy's just fine comments, like she wasn't saying anything bad. And I was keeping up pretty well. I noticed your comment on the post, by the way, just to quickly address that. I kind of have my emails doing something else, and technically I sort of want to keep that note up for myself, whether I need to or not, until just the 20th around the 20th of April, which feels like a long time. So if you can just kind of tell me, in short, what you said in the email, I'd be curious about that, because I don't give it to everybody, but I'd be curious about that. Maybe you can just go to it and put it here. But honestly, what you said under the post, which I'm glad you saw, I didn't really know why anything more than that would need to be said. So yes, I'm a little curious, but maybe it's an opportunity to look at it again and decide what you still want to say and what maybe you don't. And I can see it here. I don't mind. And then when I do get to it there, I'll say, okay, we addressed that, and maybe I won't be quite as curious at that point. Anyway, so I believe we have Flower Power here and Kirsty as well, and maybe your son. So this song I'm going to do before I make my coffee. I guess I could get it making. That way it's just ready. What do you think? Should I... well, yeah, that's what it sounded like, so hopefully. What do you think? Should I... it was more than one, but yeah. Should I start the pot now, or should I do the song and then go out there and visit with you while it's going? Like, do you want to be able to hear the coffee brewing or not? That's the question. And yeah, that email question. Other than that, yeah. So the interesting thing about this song is I've heard of the singer. I think I know a couple of her songs. In this particular song, actually, I was searching for the other one. Something else popped up along the way. I decided to click it, or look at the results. Clicked on this one. Still worth maybe another watch. Clicked on this one. It sounded kind of familiar. So There is if I remember, I think it was just before the bridge. There is a part in it which has a bit of a crescendo, a high crescendo. I think is what it's called. Like a vocal, not a vocal. It might be called a vocal run too. Anyway, a vocal run 3 or walk 2, jog, whatever. Anywho, I'm gonna try and do that, and that might require the coffee, or at least after. It's gonna definitely require some water after all this talking. So. Or was it just that you did say the same thing in both spots? You just wanted to make sure that I saw your reply. Was it just that? Out of curiosity? I'm not too sure if it's just chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not, for those that see this after, because there's only one view here right now. There might be two of you. And I'm not sure. Kirsty may have went to her email for a moment, in which case it's Flower Power, I'm guessing. And are you a hippie? Because, hey, I was about the love and good vibes. Anyway, so I'm going to give this a try. I don't know how. It looks like it's going to be easy enough. Thankfully, there is a bit of variation in the course. The course and probably the bridge. Maybe not. But anyway, so I don't know if I want to sing it, but we'll see. I might have to just to kind of. We'll see. See if it sounds familiar. One more sip of water first, and then I finally get to it. I actually kind of am feeling the need for coffee. But I don't want to make people wait longer for the song, especially if, they aren't as familiar with me and they maybe don't realize how enjoyable it would be. I have noticed some of my posts don't always show on YouTube when I switch. Yeah, devices seem to kind of both do their own things sometimes. But why are you mentioning this? Is it in relation? I'm going to start the coffee. I'm just going to, whether you want me to or not, I'm starting it. Just kidding. If you want to hear a coffee maker yourself, in between songs and whatever, or when I'm away from the screen briefly, as sometimes happens in the longer streams, you're more than welcome to make yourself some coffee. Because it's a sound I mostly like. So the songs I'm going to do. The song I'm going to do is a femme pop rock song, I would say. And in fact, Kirsty, if you haven't wandered off to do something, the second one I'm going to do, in case you're waiting for a reply from me, I did. Yeah, but did you not just hear the whole thing I just asked about that? If you could just put it here, that would be great. It will only show during the chat. So I'm curious about this Flower Power individual, actually. I'm going to just... I only associate that phrase with hippies, which, like I said, I'm not against them. Oh, delightful. This proves the one side of me. If you're still there, I don't know if it's actually her, but this proves, that just speaks to the, one part of me that I enjoy. But I probably should look at it. But hopefully it keeps this session, because most of it's ones I was able to reload in most of the groups, but hopefully it keeps this session and brings me back the other one. But anyway, so Kirsty, the second song I'm going to do is the one that I was asking you and Mark about, actually, and Kelly. I don't know if I think it's country anymore. The weird thing is I thought it was a guy singing it on the radio, and I heard it 2 or 3 times one day, but it's not. I don't even think there's a guy singing in it at all. So I don't know if it's somebody else has a version of it, or I don't know. It doesn't usually leak from me. Watch, this will be the time it does. But sometimes getting the buttons to press is a bit finicky. was kind of funny. Coffee grounds in the cup with a bit of water in it. I don't know why I'm amused by it, but I am. I know some people say you wouldn't, but other people that might see this far in, it's not super far in, but kind of. I'd say small things amuse big minds. They also, or small things amuse small minds. They also amuse big minds that, have either or they very abstract, creative geniuses, In other words, like à la moi. French genius at that. Actually, I'm not, but I know very little French. Okay, now it's also doing this stupid thing where sometimes it doesn't press everything I need it to. So I've got to wait a moment. Yeah, unfortunately, it's half a cup, but I just think it was sitting out too long. Maybe I'll keep some of it. Because it's also wasting milk and sugar if I don't. Things are so expensive these days. So, but the first one I'm going to do is not the one I was referring to. When I was saying, do you guys know this country song? I think it says this in it, and heck, I might not even stay in here, the coffee maker, especially since I haven't been able to start it yet. It's so strange too. So it has an on-off button, which is the one I can't get to stay lit, even though the how much and the grind off thing do light up. So then it is on. So why won't it press? And I thought this trick seems to be to walk from it for a few moments and then come back or unplug it, but that didn't seem to be working. So, how is your day going, by the way? Really always lovely to have you here, especially when it's quiet. And we can use this stage for a while, but depending on how long this video is, I mean, you had to leave. Depending on how long this video is, what was I saying? No, I'm doing as well. He might come back because he does sometimes. Okay, I re-listened. I think I followed. Sorry, my brain is slow on a Friday, and you are later in your day. I'm actually kind of in the point of the day where I'm starting to feel a bit more alive and awake and live. And it actually is pretty sunny out. Part of me again wanted to fall back asleep, but my neck and my ear is still a little bit iffy, and just well, you're coming into a weekend. You have a busy weekend or a relaxing one planned. I know we have some errands we're going to try and do, but we'll have lots of relaxing as well. Okay, and thanks for clarifying whether it was just a hi from you. Good to know. Well, hello. Okay, let's try this thing. Well, maybe I don't need to be this awake, but the warm beverage is nice. I don't think we have tea. Because if I don't make this super long, I mean, either way, I try to pace myself. Then I'm just watching videos, waiting for Mark and Kelly, pretty much. Having lunch, that kind of thing. I don't think we have tea right now. We got rid of some of our herbal tea because we weren't drinking it. Speaking of not drinking it, I'm going to put this on the counter. Maybe he'll want one of those later because that's been there for a while. We have this weird, I think it's Australian tea, but I didn't grab it. G did. I'm not really interested in it. And that looks like some sort of Asian. I mean, I know what they say. And then this is a bit of a treat. We don't think about it too much, but I think it's black chai tea, isn't it? Hot cinnamon spice. I don't know how that would be with my throat right now. I made tea not that long ago. I think I had some. Oh, right. I've been getting tea from Tim Hortons a couple times, because I'm Canadian. No, I hardly ever go there, actually, and they're not as good as they used to be. But I was out and about. I wanted something warm for my throat. It was either past the time when I usually drink coffee before evening, and I just really didn't feel like I just found 3/4 on the counter, like having coffee. Okay, I got that running. Woo! I did put water in, right? Yes, I remember doing it. Okay, so We got 3 of you here. Let's just enjoy the note. I don't know if you'll hear it or not, but if I'm not talking, you will. Let's just enjoy the sounds of the coffee maker for a moment, and then I'll play some music. And wonder, oh, right. I'm just stirring the sugar too. Yeah, pretty much. Actually, he doesn't hit, I think. He's whispering in the video, but by the size of his hand, does some ASMR, like pushing in and back out, and then these colored dots or whatever they are. ASMR, I don't know whether I like it or not. I can be sensitive to certain sounds with autism spectrum, and I'm just not really sure what I think of it. I'm too aphantasia. Actually, I have heard that word, aphantasia. I can be quiet. Usually, I'm having to watch something though, or listening to somebody else or something, or listening to somebody else in a conversation or whatever. But I don't know. I'm not. It's not that I'm not peaceful, but I'm not quiet enough to be ASMR. I think. Could be wrong. But there, and yeah, like I said, I'm particular about sound. But this is one I kind of do like, so let's hush up and listen to it, eh? Can you hear it? Percolating. Rain, yeah, I don't mind that for the most part. However, I grew up in a yeah, I guess it was a farmhouse. I mean, we had horses, we had dogs. At one point, we had a goat. My parents got it as a wedding present. I think they may have got rid of it not long after I was born because, I was born. And they had all the other stuff they were keeping up with. I think you accidentally retracted the message, but I'm pretty sure I read it. Anyway, so, and rabbits for a while too. And city walks in the rain. Yeah, I prefer to see it online than walk in it because I get damp, wet, and cold and grumpy for the most part. But a lovely walk under an umbrella with someone. If it's not windy, could be all right. Anyway, point of the matter being is, so in this country house, we had something. I had a dream once about a bunch of mice, and I was on a couch trying to get away from them. Speaking of dreams, I'd like to talk more about that actually, because we were talking about that. I don't think I've had one since, but that was just like 2 or 3 days ago. I've given up on some of my life dreams, but I did a video about that last night. But no, anyway, but in this house, in the country, I don't remember it having a basement or even an upper floor, but it was kind of long. Anyway, we used to hear this sound. It sounded a little bit like this in rain, actually. We used to hear this sound. I need to tell Mother. I don't know. I should show her the picture of Arlene. I should tell her what that was because I'm sure she's wondering, and I have some answers. But she has to kind of be here for that. I don't know if I should write it over. But she might kind of get on about things being messy. Or bring my step. Actually, she was going to be busy. No, today's Friday. Anyway, so in this country house, we had mice in the ceiling. And once we saw one in our tub. And you could hear them. But perhaps we never had anybody come to do anything about it because we lived in the country and we figured there sounds like there's quite a few. And it's expensive and they might just come back. So I guess it reminds me a little bit of that, or like somebody tapping impatiently. Anyway, listen to this. Can you hear it? And I'm thinking I might call it. Because there's some things I'd like to show her, and all the things I said. Pretty sure. But she first told me if she got here, it doesn't have to rush. If she got here at 12:45, I always forget these days. Mark and Kelly, they roll at 1:30 local time. Well, I don't know if you always tune in right from the start. I do. And my mother didn't really like the way that it was. I can't, well, I could move it a smidgen closer, but I'm having my coffee now, and she's working till 12:30. So it would just be to visit. I don't want to ruin it for the summer and Thursday. I could send it to her, but that hasn't happened yet in my email. I'll be right back. I don't feel like being verbal like that. I need my voice for this, and then but I can let her read the thing. I won't be long on the phone. I don't know. Yeah, I just wanted to call and see if you wanted to come for a short visit this afternoon. Anybody show you online? Yeah, I guess you have to do it. Yeah, what area are you going to be in? I heard some highway, but well, if you're able. Oh, you are going that way. Yeah, well, I still think it makes sense to go on the cheaper day next week. So make sure that you good segue in reminding both of you not, or he doesn't necessarily have to be with us. Just don't book something he needs a vehicle for. Yeah, appreciate it. And yeah, if you're able to, I'm available till like 1:30. Then I have I'm going to be watching um, premiering at that time. What time? Okay. I could also do three-ish. If that works. Okay, well keep me posted. Okay. Yeah, because I just I've been having a bit of a sore throat yeah, and a couple of them are pictures, and then kind of I guess as well. Yeah, I know. Yeah, if you're able to, just let me know. Okay, bye. That didn't necessarily come out very well, but whatever. Okay, I'm back. How about you? Some of you may not have actually heard the coffee yet, but like I said, I'm not really an ASMR. I don't even watch it that often, but I should. Anyway, I kind of put a lot of milk in this cup. I was gonna tell my mother what the computer issue was that I had, but what it seemed to have been was pet hair because it's open at the side, but it has to be for ventilation. I don't think she's necessarily wrong about that, but there used to be a cover on it. My mother was calling bars, and I was like, um, happy hour and this and that too, or I don't remember what was there, but I think it broke off. But it's kind of like, and unfortunately, our coffee maker's or it's old, so sometimes it doesn't heat it very much. Plus, I did put a bit much milk. Anywho, point of the matter being, I'm glad that you happy with the race point of the matter being, and hopefully always will be, and we can always work through any misunderstandings. I'm not necessarily saving my verbal energy in doing this, but just don't like to have this on top of the microwave while I've got it on. But it is pretty close to when I was going to eat lunch. But that cheese and buttery cheese without butter, which I usually would put butter, buttery cheese and green onion biscuit was really good. And I don't think I'm all that hungry for lunch yet, but I am having coffee at least. And I guess I'll see how the coffee turned out and if I feel like I need to eat something with it. But anyway, yeah. So apparently it was pet hair and like oils. They said if somebody sprays aerosols or whatever, well, I don't, but like I do use a lot of lotion. I occasionally use a not usually around it though, perfume. Not perfume, like a cologne scented spray. That one was and then must have nicked myself so when I did it because it stung briefly, and then um, well, she didn't even ask what it was, so but anyway, and then it's legal here, and G does smoke pot, but again, usually not that close to where I have my laptop. So now I'm extra careful, and if I'm not on it, I kind of cover it with a shirt that's quite breathable that I sometimes wear, but I just can kind of slide it over the keyboard in the vents, and it can still get a bit of air, but it protects it a bit. Because yeah, I don't know how long that stuff had been accumulating, but it looked like either for a while or just rapidly. So yeah, and maybe I didn't need to replace the fan, but I did. So, and I think you heard me about that the one day. So, and then because they fixed the camera, which is how I'm doing this, they where's the other water I had? I guess I brought it over here. You being a good boy. You're so glad. Mm-hmm. Very good indeed. I want to see one water there. I kind of like to have more than one in there. That was one of the things. Well, I mean, you might only be here for 15, 20 minutes. So, we're going to be looking at the thing. Even though we're kind of back okay together and things have been quite nice, it's awkward. It's that fear of her passing away eventually, which of course she will. It's also another message got retracted. I don't know why. It's you are still here. Okay, good. It's also the fear of her kind of, or the mixed feelings about what if she goes back to kind of the ways that she was being. And I think he'd want to see her more if he did see her more, and he even kind of still does. But he understands he didn't grow up with her too, and he also understands. And we were talking a bit about her the other day. I'm not going to get in depth about now, but he also understands that it's mixed feelings. Mixed feelings. I just don't really want to bring him in the middle of it, even though it could go well. When we have the focus of the Fringe Festival and shows, maybe then. Anywho, and I did invite Mark and Kelly, but I don't know if he was busy. Busy. Keep that there for a moment. I do want to read that. So that the people are kind of, well, they don't see it, so why would they be able to do that? But hopefully they wouldn't. Yeah. I mean, you don't need to put yours because you got mine, and you have pretty good memory. I wrote down, and then if it's sent through, then I got yours. I would check it. I'm just distracted in my emails right now. Dust can easily build up in keyboards, laptops. Yeah, the side vent. I need to remember to clean more. Yeah, and that. I mean, maybe it just needed a bit of a spray. I don't know if a vacuum would have worked, but now I'm kind of, we sometimes think right now I'm kind of thinking what is that? And there was somebody very briefly here, but it was like it almost looked like rust built up. Like it was like a mixture of like gray and less. Speaking of mice, I mean, anyway, yeah, and we were just, and she said they've been in business 30 years and they've only seen that twice people that lived on pig farms, but like, I mean, what, they have the laptops outside or in a barn maybe, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, I'm glad Mother, didn't make a huge thing about it because yeah, they took a picture and they showed it to us. And they're like, this is what it looked like inside. And I said, Mother, did they clean that? I don't remember them saying if they did or not. She said, yeah. It's like, okay, good. But yeah, I hope I don't have to deal with that soon. It either was that or a motherboard issue, which can be replaced. But I think that the thing would be being even wonkier if that was the case. Well, look who it is. Been a little while. Glad to have you back again, even if it is just because you're lonely, like last time. I mean, I don't judge that kind of thing. And as long as you're happy to be here and not to meet too much, I'm happy to have you here. I mean, I remember you were kind of respectful about the thing, but yeah, I mean, we're all on different journeys and all our own individuals, and you never know where what might might be brought into your life. Yeah, it's going okay. I'm about to finally do some piano music. We got 4 of you here, so it's a good time to start because it's mostly been Kirsty since Mackenzie left. Now it says 2 of you, but whatever. Pinigus. But yeah, so anyway, yeah. So I kind of want to tell her what it was because I'm sure she's probably wondering, but then I'm a little bit worried. Of course, I mean, my memory, sometimes I remember things I don't want to remember and forget things I do. And I don't have, I think it's called an idol. I forget what that word is, but I don't have like a perfect memory. Remember absolutely everything. So, it's nice to have, to be able to refer back to it, when I can. But I think I have close to that because, I am Mensa genius, and but I mean, it's not necessarily a good thing if somebody does like that. Could be kind of like just and annoying and stressful sometimes if one did. But of course I do, and I'm sure you're smiling lovely. Anyway, but yeah, so I was going to tell her about it, and then I'll do some music, just so the third person knows. And chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not. But then I thought, well, she's like, well, how are you gonna? I mean, there is a lot of dog hair on the carpet, but not a lot. But like, I'm always kind of going around and scooping it up because the vacuum actually doesn't get it very well. I've noticed, and it's a shop vac. It just sticks to the carpet. So I don't know. There's patches of like, well, I mean, it's a laptop. I can't show you easily. What goes both ways? Me? Correct. Anyway, in some things anyway. Anyways, I see you're playing the piano today. Well, I said that. Yeah, and I guess it is here, and I guess you can kind of tell that. True. But anyway, so yeah, my mother's gonna be like, and I'm kind of feeling like it too. Like, I guess it's so easy for that to happen. Well, I wait till and it's a new fan now, and he actually gave me back the other one. It's pretty safe in that bag, but I should take it out of there. But it's kind of like, yeah, if like coffee's not bad. It's a bit on the sweet side, but I kind of like it that way. Anyway, basically, maybe I have to bring it in again. I mean, we're not getting rid of the dog anytime soon, hopefully. And I mean, I'm not going to stop using the lotion because, I mean, especially in the winter, but I'm just trying to. Okay, so anyway, let me get to the songs. I really didn't think I had this much energy. You guys must be bringing it out of me a little bit. Okay, so like I say, looks easy enough to play it. Not too sure if I'm up to or feeling the lyrics to sing it, although there is that one crescendo, like I say. But the chords are easy enough. We'll see if you know it. Either way, enjoy. Picking up some dog hair right now off the hardwoods. There's also a lot of crumbs. We need to vacuum. It's true. Anyway, thank you for your patience. Now, like I say, before today, twice, I hadn't heard this song in a while, and since I didn't jump right into it after listening to it, we're about 54 minutes in. We were having a nice conversation. By the way, please remember to like, beside Pingus, the video. Yeah, hopefully I remember how it sounds. It looks like it's chorded right, so here we go. Look at that. haven't gotten that quite right, but it's something like that. You know the lyrics. That I can't see like a stranger on this road. Out of ground. What goes both ways, by the way? And there's three of you here. Glad to see that. Don't want to force anything, but by any chance, do you know how to play Another Love by Tom Odell? I'm not sure if I've even ever heard of him. Yeah. Feel free to request. I have one more lined up. I'm also going to quickly look at the ones underneath this one that was suggested. Keep requesting. I might likely know them. Having played the piano and guitar, which one would you say is harder? And I guess you're saying the fact that I play piano guitar, but maybe you do too, because I remember you were learning guitar, and I was going to help you with that. Which would I say is harder? I don't know. They're both different instruments. I don't know if one's necessarily harder than the other. I started piano first, not long after. As like a 7 or 8 year old, I went to guitar. Then I put the piano aside for most part for a while. I played a bit of keyboard. Then I came back to the. I almost did the reverse, and I don't know. And lately, I'm using the presets in the keyboard because I find that kind of fun, like kind of having a little band to play with, and it's creative and this and that. But I don't know. I don't know which one. I mean, certainly if it's the kind of stuff that G plays, the classical stuff, I would say I'm going to choose guitar. I don't play that, and it probably will never be that, have that kind of dexterity. But other than that, it's like Wanda and Austin. Any of you know the name Kylie Minogue by any chance? 1 hour and 9 minutes in. Also, Sidapinga said, I don't believe you have given the video a like yet. Those two were already there, but I appreciate if you do. I don't know her song called Angel. I think I only know one of her other songs. Frank Ocean. I thought it was Frankie, but anyway. Really? Well, guess what? Thank you for the like. Guess what? My sibling, half sibling, actually, and I don't know if you ever heard the song about him that I've done, actually did some musical recording with her rather. She was also, and some for me is not the logo, some of it's all right, some of it's kind of, but she's lovely. But I also, he also was in the Big Day Out Festival in Australia, in the same lineup as Alanis Morissette and Eminem and somebody else I can't remember, but I knew the name. But yeah, there was a bit of a thing going on in the world at the time, though, and they weren't able to actually do what they wanted to with the album. And I can't believe he even ascertained it. But Jordan telepathic experience, that's it. But I mean, still, I mean, I've also known some celebrities' cousins. I've also, like say, known and performed with somebody who's also performed with Bowie and the Beatles. So I mean, I have some cool stories, but well, on those, that's really as deep as they get, though. Okay, so this next one, I'm a little mixy, but I kept hearing it the one day. I kind of like it, so I'm going to do it. And it's kind of country pop, especially for the higher notes. But I have to say that you truly have a beautiful voice for singing. It means a lot coming from you, Beningus. Well, I don't know why I'm saying it that way. It means a lot, is what I'm saying. Which do you think is harder of the two instruments, by the way, for singing? Yeah, I don't think I quite matched what she did in the song, but I came close to it. So, being that I wasn't super familiar with the song, that's all we can hope for, I think. Yeah, stay tuned. I'll be doing a video about mental health sometime soon, youth mental health. Like I say, I have a busy weekend, and I otherwise want to relax, but I'm sure we'll be streaming. I'm sure. And I know that lots of people will be happy to hear that. So, and the ones that aren't don't need to be watching our channel, But we're pretty diverse, as you know, and I would not mean to sound rude with that. But anyway, what's this song called? Yeah, and again, speaking to that side of me, just I don't want anyone to think I'm fully gay, because I'm not, but one, if not both of these female artists are also attractive. So, and I'm just saying that because I'm not just saying that, it's true. Anyway, I'm hanging out at home this weekend and having a big, I mean, winter sometimes a good time for that too, but definitely a first big wing. And yeah, definitely, that's a good thing. I kind of dread it. And we don't drive, so we can't really go too far with anything that we want to get rid of. And we try and do it at that time, but we really should. Anyway, okay, let's see how this one comes across. I've certainly heard it a few times recently, so it should be fine. I sort of want to open up the door, but I don't want it to be too noisy. But I am kind of warm. I should have done it while I was talking. Well, the screen is not open on this. I don't want to get the dog working up, but it's still got a cool. Okay. Okay, he just sat up, but okay. So let's see how I do with this one. Again, I've never played it, but I haven't had the chance to lay fingers on the piano. Good thing I see what dog over you there. At least I think it was. But guitar does have its unique. Well, and it also depends. Are you playing rhythm or rhythm or blues? No, just kidding. Rhythm and blues. So I heard somebody the other day in a music trivia thing I was kind of wanting to watch, but I said they're wrong. So I'm not going to watch something that's doing wrong trivia, without, knowing the facts. I just keep noticing dog hair laying everywhere. More than usual. Oh, and the tangent have found this. They said Bruno Mars was R&B. And I don't really think it is. Yeah. But what I meant to say is rhythm or lead. Yeah, this was by the coat rack. Hello, Mark, Marie. There's a little bit in this. That's nice. Yeah, it depends whether you're playing rhythm or lead and how fancy you're getting. I haven't had the chance to lay my fingers on the piano, but guitar does have its unique learning curve. All right. Yeah. Chord iterations and finger pain and dexterities and this and that. Yeah. Anywho, I'll just get a quickly look in this other tab just in case I might be missing any comments. You guys can always let me know too. So what have you been keeping busy with, Beningus? Yeah, it's nice to have you back. It's been a few weeks. I remember it was a while, and then there was a thing, and then you, it's been a few weeks though, I guess. Okay, so by E. Langley. I don't know if I really feel the lyrics. I like the melody though, so it might be kind of similar. Oh, if I don't sing the lyrics though, it's really just a lot of A and G. I thought it was more to, but it's also the well, it doesn't look that much different between the two. I was gonna say kind of how it's spaced out, but I might just have to sing this slightly just to kind of give it a little bit of something, because otherwise it's A and G back and forth. I really thought it was more than that. We have two of you are musicians. Have you ever experienced that before where you're like, oh, I thought this song was going to be a little bit trickier, maybe not like really complicated, but a little bit trickier than it ended up being? But here it goes. This is the song I was talking about. Let me know if you recognize it. Okay. Try and make it sound more interesting than just A and G back and forth. That's kind of the one part that I really like, where it kind of goes a little deep and then high again. It does have a beautiful melody. Okay, I'm glad you like it. So bad, so bad, so bad. I just wanna be her, wanna be her. I just wanna be her so bad, so bad. I just wanna be her, I just wanna be her. Don't wanna be her. So I'll say Ella Langley. Let's do it. I won't play it here because I wouldn't be allowed to, but I don't think I'm doing it quite justice. But I'm glad that you like the melody. What's underneath it? A similar titled song. She really did want to be her. Her. Oh, I do know one of her other songs. Burn for the Wind, Nicotine, Girl Who Drank Wine. I do know this one. Whoops. And it does have a male that sings with her. I've never heard of him. Okay, I did click it right. Okay, let's try this one. Looks like it has an additional chord in it, so be a little bit more exciting. I'm just reading the lyrics quickly, and I'm also trying to remember how the first part goes, to be honest. I might have to go in the other room and listen to it for a moment. Although I don't know if I could see myself singing that. I'd like to say I could, but I don't know if I could. I know the chorus. Maybe I'll come in at the chorus. I'm just doing my cover version of this. Riley Green. Start singing, Leona. Been a while, hey, and feel free to keep requesting songs, by the way. Baby, I think you're gonna want to hear this. I was down in the local during this view of the guy. This cute little country girl. She caught my eye. Boy, let me tell you, she was pretty sick. And it was she walked right up to me, handed me a beer, gave me a look. Said, "Get out of here." That's when I realized that she was. Told me right there. She said, "You look like you love me. Look like you want me. I want you to come on home." You looking up, baby, I don't blame you. Looking me up and down, outside, something that I made me. You look like you love me. If you ever see me in a cowboy hat, you think this is how I like it. Wait time, just give me this here line. It's a little like this. Said, I don't blame you. Looking me up and down and God's face. And I'm ready to leave. Like you love me. Something like that. Door is slightly open. Okay, I should have some lunch soon and drink a bit more coffee. I'm gonna go to the kitchen and do that. Actually, I think maybe, I think Kirsty. I think you tuned in just after the lovely lunch I had the other day. It was lovely. I just put one of those waters in. Was there already one in there? I think there was. I think it was this one. It went by the name of this one right here. Unfortunately, I'm a little worried that this pasta salad I want to have might be a little bit dry because it's been a couple of days. But it was made, and I didn't have a lot of stuff, a lot of sauce to put with it. I think I put some butter and I put some chip dip, actually, because that's what I had. Is this your favorite? I believe it's the only one I. Oh, sorry, that was Robin that was saying it does have a beautiful melody to it. Yeah, I misread who said it, but that's okay. Is this your favorite Riley Green song? It might be the only one I know. Why? Do you know other ones? Anyway, so let's see what this pasta looks like when I have it with this coffee because it's quite sweet. Maybe with a bit more garlic butter. That pasta salad seasonings that I put on there, I really don't notice. I'm going to have having Kevin roast tonight. Do I want to have some of that coleslaw with the you gonna put it? And my gravy? That's going to go on the thingies with garlic. Bacon and rice cabbage rolls. What was I looking for? And maybe, oh yes, I was going to put a bit of this in there, but then there's really not going to be more than like 2 pieces left to put in to have tonight. And yeah, it's a pretty small meal, so I think I do need to have that. And what she's having, I don't know. I didn't really know. What was it saying I was going to add to that? Garlic butter. Where is it? Here it is. I will look and see about doing more songs, so just bear with me. I had a Caesar salad for lunch. Yeah, it's funny. I had left. I rarely do. I rarely even have fries these days, and I had leftover fries the other day, as I was mentioning with my sandwich. Yeah. Do you know any others of her songs? Because it might actually suggest some, and I don't know. I might be surprised because I didn't know she did that one. Okay, now it's only suggesting 3 of her songs underneath that one. Sometimes it suggests like 6 or 7 or so. And yeah, they're all her songs, and I don't think I know them. There is one that makes me think of a gambling game when I see the one title. Okay, so anyway, I want to use this. I'll save that for tonight. Let me save that for tonight. It works on top of that, though, so unless I'm having all of that, I put it back there. Now, when I say I have aphantasia, I don't necessarily talk absolutely everything out loud to myself. It's because I'm streaming that I'm doing it more than otherwise. But I mean, I do. You know, when I'm home by myself, I do kind of either I'm talking to the dog or I'm talking to myself. And so lately, it's been nice to have devices, 2 now, after a while of neither, to be able to stream during the day, because then it's like I combine them all, you know. You remind me that I should go and eat something, so I'll just do that. Yeah, what are you thinking of having? Hopefully it's nothing I find gross. I know I'm not eating it, but sometimes it's gross. Oh, there's all the spoons are blank, or at least one of them. 2 of them. Why they're in there, I don't know. Anyway, who put the dishes away last? Nobody that lives here. Just kidding. But you're welcome to eat while you watch and listen, that's for sure. And I would love some more song requests, because I'm actually not feeling that bad, but and my mother can't be here while I'm watching Mark and Kelly, because she wouldn't be into that, it sounds like. But it sounds like she was kind of busy today, so I don't know if everybody's eating fries. Where were you guys yesterday? We could have all been eating fries together, but now, well, I could make some, but those sweet potato fries, it takes a lot to get them the crispiness I would want them, and I don't really like sweet potatoes that much. But it's a nickname around our house a little bit. But anyway, yeah, and I don't think we have other fries. But yeah, Cavendish fries at that restaurant the other day was the best thing. It was the best thing about our lunch out the other day. And then Rainey's the day or 2 after that. Was it day or 2? I think so. Anyway, yeah, we have lots of sweet potato fries though. We do have these tater tots, but they're not that potato based. They're broccoli and cheese. But I do feel like I sort of want to have something with those. How do I usually do these? In a pan? Yep. Not the oven, that's for sure. Okay, so now I'm making these, so it's the closest I can get to fries, so. Yeah, I don't mind if you're eating while you're here, of course, and keep the song requests coming, and chicken and carrots, okay. I guess that's not an odd combo, especially since fries are potatoes. The carrots threw me off a little bit on that one. It's like carrots or fries? Just kidding. Oh, me not paying attention. Well, that's a full roll. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Me not putting attention, put the empty pot back in the fridge. You guys are distracting me. Just kidding. I do need to put this in here empty though. 1, to keep the gravy from drying out, and 2, because I want to have this stuff in it later. Butter on my fingers. Again, literally butterfingers in the house. In the house, representing, yo. And to the third person here who is not saying much that I can see, I don't know if anybody else can see, and if they're obviously trolls, I don't know. But if it's potato, I guess I did make a promise to you. It doesn't seem to be. Again, you know, I don't mean to be rude, but if you're okay, now it's just one person. But for anyone who's watching this far and think trying to be cool the way you're talking, no, I'm not trying. I just happen to be cool, so it works. Yo, I can't find the. Oh wait, the one spatula's in there. I had another one I was using. That's a lot of butter. I'm gonna go back on the pile on the chair for a moment. That was funny when he said, "Row, row, row." He was like, "Do you okay still?" And he didn't realize the joke. He's like, "You should know where we are by now." there's the pot, and the camera changed the thing. He's like, there's the mess. There's the bottles. I'm like, yeah, I know that much. Here's the ceiling. Now you're sitting on top of an empty pot as well. So, woo! Maybe you're not. You're sliding on top of an empty pot. Okay. Just let it slide, okay? Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Keep appreciated. Woo, do, do, do. Woo. Who's still here? Is it just the one of you or both or what? Like, pick me. It's me. I just want to be so bad. I just want to be so bad, so bad, so bad. I just want to be hurt. That's how the song's supposed to sound. I just want to be so bad, so bad, so bad. I just want to be so bad. HER. That's the song I was singing. I feel like I'm better with the singing than the piano. Maybe distracted it a little bit. I mean, I don't mind if this is not super warm because I kind of want it as a pasta salad. Because, well, actually, I'm not having pasta tonight, so I can have it as a warm pasta dish. I'm often having pasta almost every dinner, and I know that sounds a certain way, but I'm a picky eater. And, you know, we live on a budget as well. A shoestring fried budget, you know. Hi, honey, how are you? The spots on the floor, you should lick them up. Yeah, you should. I'm often that way, but yeah, we do want to try and get some things done on the weekend. Chill mode for the rest of the weekend. The comment. Okay, I see. I don't want people reading that too much, but I am an hour, 25 minutes in. Yeah, well, that's good. You need that sometimes to recharge. Well, you'll probably see us live streaming, but there's also this song, and Rick Barr, just came up with my Kelly for a time. There's also this song, although they do seem to come around somewhat often. Ooh, that got hot. And it goes, storms never last, do they, baby? Huh, huh. Might be a local group. That times are past with the wind. You're burning butter more than getting the center of these cooked. And of course, that pasta's so hot. Hand in mind, stills the thunder. You make the stars wanna shine. I followed you down so many roads, baby. Got two of you here, 3 plus Kirsty. Sing that, I'm singing that song, but every certain there you know, the search was for the truth, and the sun now won't let it below. So just having a bit of a lunch. Whether I do my own music or not, I don't know. And I'm not going to keep you from tuning into Mark and Kelly's or myself. I like to be there from the top. And oh my gosh, it's Thunder Bear. How did you end up here today? Out of curiosity, is it just by fluke coincidence, or did Mark tell you? Mark and Kelly see my comment and say we can't watch him right now, but why don't you go over? Yeah, so I was just saying, you know, when it comes time, like he's rolling probably 12. It's closer to 1 these days, it feels like. They're rolling at that time, if it's both of them. So that's like an hour and a half away, but I don't think or almost. I'm not going to work quite that long, but yeah, you guys know each other. I came across you when you commented on one of the videos. Oh, cool. Well, first time here, I believe, right? Or you would have said something, unless your comments weren't shown before. But yeah, I would have recognized your name and your image. Although I guess other people might go back too. I should have done the Mark Thunder Bear. And then Kelly goes, "Hope you're well." Which might be more of a British phrase. And what am I hearing? Is that the dogs? What are you doing, Sonny? I have a question. Do either of you have dogs? or feel like you know dog behavior pretty well? Cool. Well, now you can see me on the other side of the screen. Isn't it great? Yeah, Mark heard me do the impression once. I don't do it often, but sometimes when you're so excited, they're very excitable folks. I mean, it's hard not to do it, right? Actually, I just found out I didn't know her that well. I knew her husband a little bit, and I saw them at open mics quite often. She was working at the dessert table. Can't find the obituary, and this is not what I found, but didn't mention Dan, which is weird. But another Barb that I know, well, the other one didn't pass away that I know of, but I knew her more. But she was in, I was welcoming people into the home. Hopefully, those are cooked fully. Yeah, I mean, I hear it here, but then again, we live in a pretty cultural, diverse place. But Canada in general, and also, our parts. But then at the same time, I don't know. I still don't get out much, but I also don't get out much. Now, do I really feel like I need? I'm having cabbage rolls later. Do I really feel like I need this coleslaw? Coleslaw. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna take a scoop. I just want to bet some. We can wash the spoon again, or I'll try and remember to do so. But I think that's the one I want to eat with. I could eat with a fork, but I don't know. Do you eat Penny with a fork or a spoon? I'm still learning. I don't eat her at all. I don't think she'd like that very much. I don't know. I can't chicken. Sorry, I don't usually have a twisted humor, but sometimes. Am I spiritual? I'm agnostic. So in some ways, and I'm also, I do believe in the afterlife. Why do you ask? Usually it's me that asks, but usually I ask it that way. Oh, about the dog thing. I know neither of you answered that, but there's just so much greatness to keep up with. Lately, he has not been drinking his downstairs water. We have a smaller bowl for him upstairs, but yeah, lately, for some reason, he's not been wanting to drink his downstairs one, and I'm not really sure what's up with it. I don't think he's dehydrated. He seems fine otherwise. It's really strange. Okay, bon appetit. Hope you don't mind. I don't think you will, but yeah. I think once you said you were right. Right. We're MMR. I guess I brought my water out there already, eh? I guess I did. Why, is there someone you'd like to hear from? I can see if I have enough energy to be on for that. Be on for the beyond. Do I want a little bit of chili? Yeah, I mean, that pasta salad seasoning didn't really seem to be much of much. Do I want olives in this, or? I think I do. So we got coleslaw, olives, penne, and broccoli and cheese tater tots. Quite a feast, actually, that I've ended up having here. So I don't know if Peningus Evan is still here, but so I'm not too sure if I know who the third person is. If you're happy and enjoying this and not judging it negatively, then glad to have you here. A little bit of steak seasoning, even though there's no steak, because it's basically seasoning salt. My dad likes it, and I like it. But yeah, yeah. So I'm mildly under the but yeah. So if the third person, if one of the three of you that I'm not too sure if I know who is here, and you think your judgmental thoughts, either you're wrong, or go watch something you'd rather enjoy. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just I always wonder, why someone would just watch quietly, not have anything to say or give a like. But it could still be our other friend there who went off to do cooking and left it playing. So, and it's neat that he's kind of came back into things because he doesn't really sit there and take it that way. Hopefully he's okay. So, let me sit with that for a moment. Really, that's cool. I guess no one specific. Anything you could pick up on in general. any energies or presences at all. Well, I could tell you a little bit about it, but I do want to kind of slow down a little bit. The first one was my dad. At the age of 25, I'd lost him a lot earlier than that, and it's not every day or every week that I feel or actually channel. Doesn't mean they're not there, but that I actually feel or channel. But um, so he'd always been around. I think it was just in a time of great need that, or when I was going through a bunch of stuff, that he made it a bit more known, saying do what you like and enjoy, that you're comfortable with, that you can do. I really related a lot to the streaming actually too. That the world's come a long way in accepting people's differences and challenges. Don't be scared to live things are okay. I just don't want my podcast shirt to get spills, and sometimes I'm a spiller. I think I said the whole thing, but yeah. So basically, my friend Ray, many times that was a really hard loss to go through. I actually almost feel like I had my dad till I was just about 12, and but I had extracurricular activities. I had school, obviously. I had I'm just trying to keep my other shirt clean. Actually, I got this shirt because of Ray. I want to have the radio on, but the dog's being so good, so I guess the sound of my own voice will have to do. Uh, and I did monetize this one, so I probably should. But anywho, just tell you a little bit about it because I'm not sensing anything yet, so might as well say something. Basically, yeah. So, and I had a lot of CYWs. Thanks for the fourth like. A couple of them I've really been thinking about lately. One passed away, and the other one's quite old now and might also soon pass away. Not that only old people pass away, because thank you for the fourth like. And there's three of you here. But as I say, one of my losses was 32 years old, diabetes. I'm sure you've maybe heard me talk about it before. Anyway, so basically, might take a YouTube minute to catch up. I think people sometimes pop in and out. Okay. Thanks. Again, with the ability, I feel like, and I mean, some people might be jealous of this, but again, it can be really deep sometimes and a lot to process. It's still not the physical. I'm thankful though. I am. I mostly do it for myself, but sometimes for others. Anyway, so I feel closer with him, and I met his parents only that way, with disability. But no, I mean, maybe accumulative, it was about the same, but I was an adult, so connecting to people and relation with people kind of feels a little bit different as you get older, I think. And my dad worked a lot, so truth be told, I sometimes grieve for what we could have had and do in this way, like I say, somewhat. But it's kind of like, I don't know, he wasn't home a lot. I remember we went camping. I remember we went to family reunions when they were having them. I remember he helped out at my schools a little bit. Other than that, I really don't remember. I remember his voice. I remember his career, his common gentleness, his working with horses. Sometimes we'd get into shouting matches because I was a bit of a brat, more so then, and he had a hard time with that. But anyway, but it's been so nice because we actually hadn't been talking for a couple of years. It's been so nice to reconnect with my friend Ray in this way, because there's a part of me that feels like I saw more of her than I did my dad at different time in my life, like I say. So I don't know. And she was closer to my age, and we often were at the karaoke venues. It was a lot of fun. I don't really remember having, well, I shouldn't say that, but anyway, so yeah, and I guess, yeah, following this channel, you will definitely hear me talk about it fairly often. I just hope people don't misconstrue it. I wish this was a bit harder, but misconstrue it for like, evil, or I know you don't. You two don't. I think Kirsty already knew this about me, but I'm not sure actually, but you remembered it because I guess it resonated with you. Or like ghosts, which are fictional and often depicted in certain ways in the media. Um, I haven't figured out who it is yet, but it's like 4 comments up. I am going to heat this up and maybe put the radio on lightly. Anyway, 4 comments up. Yours, Thunder Bear, and I feel it's a female, and she said, and she kind of echoed the no one specific. I guess no one specific, and they're like, oh, no one specific, really. Um, and they are saying actually something about how they're really happy. That coffee is still very sweet. I'm gonna have to top it up later. I could top it up now, but I don't know how much coffee I want. It's noon, so if I was gonna have more, but yeah, they're basically saying they're really happy that they're doing well because she's got some challenges, but she's doing lots of fun things and trying to enjoy the rest of her life. They're very thankful that you're helping with that. Um, Stay tuned for more. Just a minute. Was there a recent loss by any chance that you think may not be at the other side yet, or may not be ready to? And you're like, well, I want to mention this one, but it's probably been too soon. Yeah. So I don't know why he only drinks it down upstairs water, but it's certainly going much food at the moment. A little bit warmer in this though, so I think I might actually. I have another one I can wear. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the screen. If you thought, oh, he's in the other room talking to someone else right now. No, I'm talking to you, so hopefully you've been listening. I'm trying to ponder of who it could be now. You did hear my question that I haven't lost anyone, thankfully, in a while. Well, she's like, yeah, actually, you nailed it. She's like, it's been quite a long time, like you said, but time feels different there. And she says, it's the saddest thing, and it's very interesting actually because, and I'm just making the connection as it's being spoken, but I'll be back on the screen in just a moment and heating up my coffee as well. But my grandmother once said it was always so hard that I had to lose Dad for her to get him back. She passed young, he passed young. So they didn't have to wait a super long time, but, into his 40s. And she was, at least 10, 15 years, I think. So I guess that is kind of a long time. I mean, he's already been gone, what, 23, 24 years, mine? I said it was warm wearing this around my neck, so let me put it on. That makes sense. She says, well, you may not make sense, but you seem like a lovely individual. So she's got a sense of humor about her. Speaking of sense, Sixth Sense, and that movie, it probably depicts this kind of thing wrong. Do I have the radio on? I might, but I don't hear it. So. A little bit louder now. A little bit louder now. Anywho, so, but yeah, so anyway, she says that, she doesn't like, and it's interesting. I don't know if I've ever had an angel say this, but I mean, I probably, it's crossed my mind, just not, in a super strong or deep way, but, just making sure I'm not confusing your comments. That's Kirsty saying that. Could have had, but feelings come and go. Yeah. Well, I mean, they do. But anyway, basically, she's saying like it hasn't actually they don't feel it the same way we do. One thing that they have, angels in general have told me, uh, not right away, like I say, but he was the first one and it's just like orientation. Was I actually? Because when I look back at it, I think, yeah, I think I did feel something more than just, you know, I did feel, I guess I would say it less, towards some, like, people growing up that when they were my age. I mean, I had a crush when I was to a girl when I was, and I always think, oh, it was a late bloomer and this and that. I don't know if we actually officially dated and we were pretty young, but um, I mean, it was before Dad passed, so I was like 8 or 9, 9 or 10. Um, Maybe it was more for Christy more because I wasn't too sure. Um, you were the one that said that your nan, and she's telling me no, that it's your nan. Um, Thank you. Anyway, basically, and I had to double check and make sure that for confidence reasons, make sure that is that what you're saying? Was it her that said it? Oh, it was. Okay, cool. Kylie, thank you for the subscription. Anyway, they, Ray says feel the feels. My friend Ray, but they told me once, more than one of them, or collectively, that they really do want us to be happy and enjoying life. They understand we're going to be sad, we're going to grieve them and other things in life, but they feel our pain, much like one would as an empath, and not to the same strength or level as we feel it, but they do feel it. And they don't want us to. They want to allow us to feel. They don't want us to feel like we're making them sad. I actually feel I'm going to elaborate on that, as what your nan said. She says, but I mean, truly, sometimes sometimes we are so sad that that our loved ones are unhappy, that they miss us, because although we miss them, we do sense them. Not everybody. In time, I do believe, and with effort, and sometimes I get in the mode by watching them on YouTube, although it's been a while. But I do feel like we all have the ability, or at least can visit a medium, and basically, yeah. But a lot of people aren't aware of that or choose not to, and so it's kind of like, but they certainly choose to be around us. You know, they feel. I don't know. In 25 years, I'm almost 40. I don't know if I've ever heard them say before that they don't really feel like the same as far as that they've lost us. But again, she's emphasizing they do feel a difference, like we do. They do feel that it's not like it was. But it's interesting. I actually feel like your nan is saying, and if I'm to elaborate something else, though, I would say that the feelings of us being with them feels almost as strong as when we were alive. And she says some people on Earth will feel it almost to the same strength, but you're right, a lot of people don't. So she's like, it doesn't, like she says, she knows it's been a while, but she says it doesn't really feel like it has been, because she's never went anywhere. I mean, she did, obviously, heaven, but she doesn't. She's like, obviously, but yeah. And speaking about grandparents, and like, I never met my grandparents, but I remember, yeah, that thing that I said that my grandmother had said. But I also remembered. I think I'm going to open the door for a bit of fresh air, and you're going to want to go out, aren't you? And you're going to want to bark at us all the things that go by, and you're going to want to taunt you, I'm sure. But anyway, he wants me to go out there with him, but he had a walk a couple hours ago. He's good. One of the other things that mine had said, or one time I sneezed and I had a flash visual where she kind of like reacted, like it jumped about it. And I sensed that she's very gentle. She's a little quirky and goofy. However, my grandfather that I never met, her husband rather, um, he was a bit more reserved, a bit more religious. And the one thing he had said to me was that he didn't really believe in the relationship that I was in as being a relationship, but he said, I don't want to disrespect you, he said to me. And he said he knew how important I was to my dad, and so I do matter to him, which was I don't think people truly leave us. I see a lot of my mom and dad in me and in their mannerisms and in my son. They're always with us in that way too. Yeah. Thanks for channeling. I feel this is how she would have been. Always told me she was very have been always told she was a very boisterous woman. Yeah, that's what I get. A little bit of like a gentle sarcasm, which is like, wow, she's actually sensing me. And so are you, sir. She's like, this is she says she hasn't gotten the opportunity to communicate with that many mediums. That she did once, and she actually said that she was quite in awe. Actually, somebody, kind of, she was told, "Be here at this time," and she sat and she saw the two of them talking. And she realized she was part of the conversation, and and so she's like, but it's still very new to her that mostly she just watches. But I also want to, obviously, the community is very important to me too, even with this, and it's not daily. People that have schizophrenia, they hear their voices all the time. I'm thankful I don't. And I know that there's a difference, and I know you do too. So fragments make up your whole being, huh? Deep. This is why I get my put them outside. It's just gonna bark at everybody. And I'm not happy about it. Oh, I made that salty. I made you noisy dog, you. Would more butter make that less salty? I did put that right. I put that less salt in it, and I didn't really notice it. She's like, "Careful there, boy." She says, "That's a lot of carbs and butter." Now, is she just being motherly and grandmotherly and caring, or was she a nurse by any chance? What do you know about her, out of curiosity? I'm glad. Definitely a thing, spiritual oneness. I'm hoping I can make it along to Mark Kelly. Well, of course, we will hopefully all be there. She says, "Who is this Mark and Kelly I hear of?" Thunderbear, where are you watching from in the world again? And have you ever been to Canada? And who should answer that question? Who is Mark and Kelly? And she says, "Well, maybe them, dear. I mean, why should anybody else answer for them?" I mean, I know they're open to it, but I don't know if they'd really want to talk about that in their stream. Like I say, tell us who you are. A certain source asked us to. I don't know. Does she have any advice? She's like, "I've got lots of advice. What kind of advice would you like, dear?" No, she's a big, strong 6 foot. Oh, is she a fighter? So, she didn't have cancer, did she? I don't think so. I just hear that in death, and I think fight cancer. But there's lots of health things. Oh, London, nah. Oh, really? No, that's where our family reunions used to be. Oh no, you're in. I mean, in Ontario. You're in the UK as well. I've not, but almost all of my followers, not all of them, but most of the ones that chat with me are from there. My brothers lived there in a place called something like Haney. That's why I asked Kirsty about it the other day. Um, now he's in France, and I don't know if I want all of this. She's like, "Don't eat if you're not hungry." I'm feeling deja vu. I don't know, because this is the first time you've ever been here. I thought, yeah, not 100% though. I believe she had diabetes. Well, I'm feeling deja vu. Do you ever feel that too? Like I feel like I've had this conversation before, but this is the first time you've been here, and even saying that part a little bit. But the visit with your nan, I don't know if I remember that. But yeah, Ray died of 32 of diabetes, and she's like, "Oh, you mean this person?" And she kind of goes like this, and there's Ray, my friend Ray. I would love to show you a picture of her, just so that you kind of have an idea. She's like, "Oh, they're getting ideas too now." um, It was her birthday a few days ago, Ray's. It was hilarious when you laughed and replied to her. Did I? I guess I did. I'm just taking off my sweater. Well, I guess that, that used to be a thing. I used to just let them talk, and then sometimes it's a bit more of a conversation. And she's like, it makes it feel more real somehow, doesn't it? And it certainly is, she says. And that's what our loved ones, we want to hear them talking to us, you know. And a lot of people, a lot of them do. They don't want to completely let go when they shouldn't. So they will sometimes talk to us, and they don't know if we can hear them. But anyway, part of the matter being is the sound wasn't great. Did you say she? Yeah, she did. Your sound seems pretty all right to me. Sometimes advice on how to be as careless as her. Sometimes deja vu. Yes, tell me about when you've experienced deja vu and any non-nightmare dreams you've had. And she's like, "Who you calling careless, dear?" I think it's a pretty good question, actually. I see you put a ha. She's like, that doesn't change the point that the fact that you called me careless. She's like, I couldn't care less, but she has a similar sense of humor to me. Um, was she into meditation, gardening, and possibly musical? I don't know. This interesting thing I'm seeing at the top of my notifications is connected to her or not. So I'm just asking. Masagana? Flowers, music, or art, and farming. Try to think if I associate that with any of mine. Yeah, March. Grandparents. Dad. A few people, yeah, personally. I think she's right. I don't think I can eat all of this right now. I took a bit more than I needed. Might have a bit more in a little while. When I'm watching Mark and Kelly. She's like, oh, them again. You guys like have some obsession with this Mark and Kelly? Well, have you had it in non-real life as well? I mean, Kirsty, are you still there? I mean, she walked the earth like she owned it. Very confident, old school woman. Interesting. Oh, she just said, do I really need that much butter? And it's a lot of carbs, essentially. And yes, and yes. Well, maybe not that much butter, but it was so darn salty. She's like, planning to die soon or what? Actually, I think about it from time to time. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Oh, so it's more boring there. You're just doing laundry and making sure that your son is, you know, not up to any shenanigans. And here I am talking to angels. um, Very confident, old school woman. She's like careless and old school. Like what is with her? You don't. Very confident. Sonny, you have food, you have water, you've just been out, you need to lay down. I'm gonna give him a chew stick. Where's that chew stick? Where's your chew stick? Wolf indeed. Oh, okay. I think that the cord was attached to the laptop, but when it caught my foot, I didn't trip. The laptop didn't slide. All is good and not so much. Hi, Carol. She's like, wow, you are good in the hug. She's like, wow, that was a very fast transition. And you transitioned pretty fast to having yourself, didn't you? So I'd like to explain what just happened. She's like, yes, please do. So what just happened? Your life is precious. I did a pretty deep. It's always spur of the moment for the most part, but it was getting late. I'm kind of surprised I did one last night, and I would love for you to check that one out later. Because yeah, I shared a bit more about why I've felt that way before. hopefully the dog will relax soon. He's good. He's just noisy. I'm doing this on a laptop, so that's as good as I can do it. Uh, Happier to be listening along. My seat is very well behaved. I'm lucky. That's good. Because this one isn't. Please, it's not a pleasant sound to hear. And we have one other person that just tuned in. I don't really want to have to say the speech again. So you know what? You're not letting up. Did I not give you the chew stick though? I mean, that wasn't very nice of me. Will you take the chew stick and hush up? Looks like the answer is yes. So when I was out in the kitchen, very comical live. Yeah, and I'm not. I mean, they're helping with that. I'm not trying that hard, but um, uh, sometimes I feel like I have to, and I think if we all want to try and connect with that realm, we might have to put a bit of effort in. But sometimes, I'm able to do it enough that I don't struggle. So 2 or 3 days ago, um, actually, your nan's still saying, you know what? They should also make sure to watch for the signs and the symbols, of course, because it's not always in messages, um, like verbal messages. Um, and I mentioned it in a couple of my recent streams, but when I was growing up, my first high school job that I had in a small town in Ontario, one of my there was a lady. She was a twin, and she was just very bubbly, very charismatic, very friendly. I don't remember whatever we talked about. It probably was nothing that in depth, but I know that it was always nice to see her there. She's one of those people that just stuck with me. I don't know. Sometimes I'm sure it was certain things reminded me of her. Other times I just simply thinking about that job. I think sometimes the name, but it was a unique spelling. Anyway, point of the matter is me and G were talking the other morning about how if it was easier, we'd move back to that area. You know, and then I go to my emails and I see a notification from a site. And she had a very weird presentation, like from this time to this time, and then this time till the celebration. And anyway, she passed away about 3 days ago. And it's not someone I'd really stayed in touch with over the years, but like I say, also not someone that I ever really forgot about. And I occasionally actually did try. Was I remember I sent one of her relatives who may or may not have been her husband, and I says, you know, are you related to this person? I noticed you're in the same town. And it's not a huge place, and I don't think I ever heard back. She passed a melanoma cancer, and so when I was in the kitchen, I said something that a former coworker used to say, "Good in the hood." Um, and so I thought of that place, and then boom, I thought of her. Like I say, this was recent, but she said, "Wow, you're good. You did that. You did that." Forget the word she used. It sounded like it started with Tran. She said you did that very quickly. Um, and this is the first time I've had a visit with her, and I'm not sure if she's still present. She is. She's actually trying to. He's too focused on am I still eating? I'm still streaming. He'd like to stream as well, but she's actually kind of like acknowledging our dog. Um, I think she probably would. Who could hate them, even if some of his interests are a little bit on the unkosher side. I mean, mother said she didn't like their voices, but she's just particular. She might not like mine either, but you know what? She's stuck with it if she wants to be on another. Anyway, they are a classy couple, real genuine. 100% agree. I look forward to their lives every week. Oh, I thought you were talking about me for a moment, but that too, I suppose. I don't really do it on a schedule for the most part, if I can make it. But also so grateful for Licky used to have found needing healing as a friend. I'm grateful as well. Really, Christy? That's sweet. Yeah, it's a good group of people. You have to watch a bunch of these back with G because they're never around, very rarely. Even when he's home for the weekend, sometimes he's in them though, playing the pan flute and the piano and all that stuff. And there's a lot of singing bowls. I'm not joking. Like we have hundreds of them. He sells them sometimes, and he just loves them. So, anywho, Your nan's back, and she says, "I noticed. Hey, Carol, come check out this place. It's like a museum." um, that's sweet. Yeah, it's a good group of people. For the most part, yeah. I was gonna say to you today, what's good in the Canadian hood? As I said, oh, it was you that said that. Yeah, I said whoever said that. I said that's funny. I thought I was the only one that said it. I had an ex at one point in time when we were dating. I kind of got her into saying it, but um, where did you get the phrase from? Was it like from The Simpsons or something? Am I remembering this right? Like I feel like maybe he didn't invent it, but I don't say it as often as I used to. But every now and then, it's sometimes not good in the hood. As I said on Martin Kelly's live last time, and you mentioned it just now. So my friend Carol, or acquaintance, I guess, it says it looks like you're keeping well. Would one of you pick up the dog and go sit with him? Like he's annoying me, but he's so cute. She says. Well, yes, but not when he's annoying. I've just heard it around before, but I just felt like saying it out of the blue, and then yeah, I mentioned it. Some people say no coincidences, like Teresa Caputo and a medium, and maybe Matt Frazier, if you're familiar with either of them. Some people say no coincidences, but it seems like they're meaning the opposite of that because it is a coincidence. I don't know if they just don't want to admit that it's a coincidence because that's awkward. Seriously, you're going upstairs. You didn't have to, but you're being annoying, so up you go. And it's not because of the angle, because he does this even when I'm not channeling. I really didn't want to have to send you up there, but what time? You know, you either get a chew stick or you have to go up, and if you don't take the chew stick, up you go. Where's the choice you made? Like, oh, no, puppy. That's your man. So, and it's interesting, as I come back down the stairs, I'm about to say what I'm about to say, because I have seen it occasionally, mostly with people that I didn't know well enough to know whether they did this or not. But she's standing with her hands in her pockets, and I mean, in the spiritual way, it's all one, so it's not a coincidence to the awakened. I guess that's a way of looking at it that I never really thought. Where did I leave my slippers? I put them by the stairs when I went up them. And he's shedding something great in his day. Anywho, so um, ba-dum. What was I saying? How was I saying it? Yeah, so I saw Carol standing with her hands in her pockets, and then she asked me something kind of interesting. Some angels, I feel like they don't necessarily, I mean, if it happens, it happens, but they don't want me to go out of my way. I mean, mostly it's my own loved ones, but not entirely, but they don't want me to go out of my way to try and connect with their loved ones. I mean, I know that Kim still hopes that I might get to meet her son someday. Um, but like, yeah, and it has been very recent, and it's a bit awkward when they're not asking for it, per se. But the other person, the living. But I felt Carol was just saying, "You think you might be able to connect with some of my loved ones?" I mean, I saw your obituary. I know your Facebook. I mean, so as you mentioned, all good in the hood. I was gonna say it. Yeah, I understand synchronicity. It's felt like one, of course. Yeah. She's like, or was it two? That was your nan. They both got a lot of energy. They're both a little quirky, but I am able to differentiate. And I've only known kind of the one in my life. So it's very interesting. Where did I put my water? Is it in the kitchen? Sorry to keep getting up. I'll be right back. You all stay out there. Okay, is this what people are doing now? She said. I've never done this. This is a lot more than this. That chronic fatigue syndrome, I was just up there. So. She's like, things don't bother. Things don't. As humans, we are used to seeing so much different things in the world. Okay, now I'm back for a little while. We're used to seeing all kinds of different things. Oh dear. I have this thing called Life is Short, Don't Dilly Dally, slightly falling apart lately, and it's been sitting on the couch, and it's like it's a wall hanging plaque. So um, it looks kind of like this, and on the other side it says the thing, and I've been putting stuff in it, and as I sat down that time, it just got kind of caught in the blanket and went slid off the couch. But anyway, so she says, we were used to seeing all kinds of things in life, but nothing really surprises or weirds us out from this from where we're at. She's like, it's all very new, and I don't know if you're talking to anybody I know, and it's like not as far as I know, but I have seen interesting synchronicities in that way too. Um, I don't sense Mr. Hill really wants to connect. He was actually one that said, not stay in your lane, but like, um, I forget there was a specific wording, and he was kind of like, uh, uh, then I'll address that in a moment. Anyway, and I don't even remember what I was talking about now. But anyway, yeah. So she's saying 18. What? Oh wow, that's nothing. Hilda says. What do you guys think this is, a party? um, Hilda was someone I knew who lived same year I lost Ray at 32. She was 104. Her son passed away 2 or 3 years prior to her. What if you ask her how she remained so strong in her life? She had 18 children, my granddad being one of those. Yeah, that's a lot. And then some of them miscarried or adopted. Because, yeah, Hilda was one of 22, so they said. And she says none of them adopted or anything. I still don't know. And she was one of the only ones left. Let me sit on that for a moment, though. I'm getting tired. It's been a little more than 2 hours. I'm right. Uh, right. I don't know half of my family. I don't. I'm not that close with mine either, and it's not a huge family. All her own. Wow. She says I just had to be. I didn't. She says I didn't think about how. I had to be for my family. Uh, she says, you know, a lot of people were drawn to her, and that, uh, she had a lot of energy, and was impulsive at times, if that's what you meant by careless, she says. Uh, Impulsive at times, impulsive. And she says that's how some of those came to be. So, apparently, huge too. Meanwhile, I'm there. Really? Well, I have this one half sibling, but other than that, I'm an only child as well. Um, and you have two cousins. I don't know if you're under exaggerating or not, but it's interesting. I mean, I have a few, but compared to some people that have like 15, 20, 30, I mean, there's obviously new generations I maybe know less about, but I don't have very many either. And I could think of about 5 or 6 of them that have passed away. Um, so, no worries. You don't have to. Well, I just did it. That came in after I did it. I thought, oh, that's so sweet, though. You can have quality time together. Um, well, she's saying that to who? Sorry. No worries. You don't have to. You've done a lot already. Uh, yeah. she's thinking that because you only have two cousins, you can have quality time together. It's not always the case. Again, really appreciate the YouTube community. Really appreciate y'all being here. It's not always the case. She said, and actually, my cousin Carly, she's here right now. She's saying, you know what? And I feel like my cousin needs me to own up to some stuff. I think he knows I'm at peace. He knows that um, I had a rough life mostly because I let it be that way. She says, um, and I think you do realize, see, that I realized that I did make a lot of mistakes in my life, and I messed up a lot. Um, she says, but the reason I bring it up today, I've visited you 2 or 3 times in the past couple of years, right? She says, I really wanted to get around to this and ask if you can forgive me for not being in your life. When we lived in different provinces, I kind of avoided her. She says, I never forgot you. And she says, you can think of that time I saw you at the library on the computers. And you were much older than when we grew up together as kids. And you may think, oh, I saw your screen and you were being conceited and looking at your own profile. I mean, maybe I was looking at birthday posts. Maybe I was checking out one of my posts. She says, no, but you want to know really what it was? And yeah, I think, yeah, it could have been around that time. She says her mother told her. And I always wondered and never really thought that could have been the case. But she says her mother told her, look who it is. And she came up to me the one day. We hadn't, like I said, we've been in different provinces. We hadn't really known each other as adults. And she came up to me and said hi and said my name. And I says, how'd you know it was me? Or I said, oh, actually, I don't think I did ask her that, oddly. I said, what are you doing here? She says, oh, just trying to stay away from drugs. As if we don't have them in our city. In fact, a lot of people do them. Okay, well, it's nice that you're close with yours. I mean, again, Holly lived in the same province that her daughters lived, and so we did some music. I can take some song requests, but Mark and Kelly's stream is getting closer and closer to being the time. I'm quite tired. I'm actually not feeling like I need to be social in a little bit, but it's fine. Anyway, so Carly says that I still haven't answered her question. Hold your horses. It's like, is that a joke your dad taught you? Because my dad was into horses. I mean, yeah, and it can be. That's the other thing. People think, oh, it'd be such a blessing. And it is. And I'm thankful. But it can be deep. It can be tiring. You have to wait till G's home for that. You could browse and possibly find that he's already posted it. But come back on the weekend when he's on the piano and he does a fitness thing. I'll probably be rolling for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then he'll come Sunday, maybe an hour, and then he'll come and he can play that for sure. But I don't play classical music. Not that talented. But other song requests are welcome. Surprise me with a synchronicity, why don't you? What you may guess, and roommate. Why are you saying anymore? That's great. Treasure that bond. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Guess what her daughter's name was? The one I was just talking about? And I've heard it twice. One of them is also the sister of a famous musician that grew up in a place I used to live, actually. Treasure. Yeah. Yeah. And I actually saw a song about that the other day, but it was more about like items and objects. You could have said cherish that bond. And I would have said her other daughter's name was Cherish. No, just kidding. She had a son that I didn't even know I didn't even know that I must have missed the comment where you said it though. Okay. Now, I read it that way because I read for context and can understand mild typos. Some people don't seem to have that ability. I was going to call it a talent or a gift, but I don't really think it's that hard. But it's all good. And then some people are OCD about when they type things wrong, and I'm more like I think they can figure it out. Sometimes I don't notice that I've done it either. But so I know who two of you are. Are the other two commenting, and I'm just not seeing them? Right. Robin liked and Flower Power, I believe, liked. Synchronicity City. I'm going to have to write that song. I don't write a lot of songs, but I'm going to have to write that. Would anybody like to co-write a song with me? Even if you're not a songwriter or not much of a creative writer, that would be a whole ton of fun. Although those are the only two words I could think to rhyme with it. But, well, there's another one, but I'm not going to put that in the song. So there's at least two of you I'm familiar with. If the other two are enjoying, thinking positive things, not being judgmental negatively, welcome to be here. If you are, go watch something you'd rather enjoy. Not being mean, but like I don't need to see you sitting, watching, not saying anything, if that's what you're thinking, Uh you have to go for a little bit before Mark and Kelly's. Are you going to be there today? Yeah, it has been a nice chat. Carla's like, I don't think you're going to answer my question. I do. I know that you had a bit of a hard time growing up, even though when you lived in our house, when I was young, we gave you a place to live. We helped your mother find work. You guys were often very loud down there, shouting at each other and this and that. I hope you forgive me for that too, she says. But that was, you guys were kids. I mean, I like I say, I used to shout with my dad too growing up, unfortunately. Maybe not as much as they did, but I mean, that was, my dad usually didn't. Well, I don't remember him being a shouter, but Holly sure was. I think they're live tonight. Well, yeah, it is Friday. But and then you connected with the wrong bunch of people and were led down paths that you got stuck in. She's like, that's very beautifully said. So does that mean yes or no? Of course, I know that she's doing better now. Again, I really appreciate the YT community. I don't feel these things all the time, but I do always appreciate the YT community. And I'm working to integrate on getting back involved with some things or getting newly involved with some things. But right now, this is largely my social life, social media, and mostly this site, mostly. But they don't miss the lives. They're pretty consistent. So twice a week. They're pretty consistent. Except for that one time when they were sick recently. Maybe you're not always there, but you seem to be mostly. And yeah, they could be rolling in about an hour, a little under an hour, maybe. So you would like to do that. Okay. Next time you catch me rolling, please don't hesitate to mention that. Because I may or may not remember. I may or may not work on it in between. But Synchronicity City. I've got to think maybe somebody's already done that, but we'll make our own version. But then, yeah, I'm mostly comfortable with that. I don't mind. I love writing in general, and I have to go for now. So I'll catch you on the later live. Yeah, either theirs or mine, either tonight or possibly late morning or mid afternoon. Which you guys are 6 hours different from us, so that would be your evening or your late afternoon. Sometimes they have missed days. I've been watching them. Oh, really? Well, I was thinking about it. I think I've been watching them for about 8 to 10 months, maybe. So they've been a bit more consistent. But yes, I do notice that. I remember seeing some of their written posts and where they said, can't do can't go today because we're sick or we're traveling or whatever. Yeah, it's not often, and it does matter. Just kidding. I'm actually feeling quite tired. I think I'm going to wrap up, but we got 4 of you here. So Thunderbear, you have to go. Kirsty, I'm thinking you're still here. The other two, at least give a like, please. Because if you're not liking this, like, why be here? If you're getting some sort of weird, I hate to think it, but some people might be getting some sort of weird, for lack of a different phrase, arousal word from it. That is not like kind thoughts. Like, seriously, are you having kind thoughts right now? Because if not, go and watch somebody that you already enjoy watching, or find someone that you enjoy watching. I mean, I'm glad if you're not trolling and saying stupid things, but like, these quiet ones, lurkers in the corner, like, you know, I know it could be either. You could be thinking, I'm really enjoying this. Actually, I don't really want to say anything, but you could be, or the other way. But show a little support for someone on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I know that the 4 that are here right now, you're not going to fool me because some of those have already been there. I'm not trying to be mean either, but And every now and then when I say this, they leave, and they're not. So I guess they're enjoying it. Either they're like, and we're commenting, and you're just not reading your comments, and like we're hoping that eventually you will see them. But it doesn't sound like any of us are seeing them. So if that's the case, other than that, I can't understand why someone would enjoy something like somebody's vibe and not say something. But then again, I'm a pretty social, blabbery type of person. Just do, because karma is real. Do and not do the thing. Treat others as if how you'd want to be treated. I mean, I know it's a phrase we all hear fairly often, but it's a very true statement. You know, you wouldn't want somebody messing with you or thinking certain thoughts about you. You don't have to like everybody. You don't have to like everybody, but there's usually always something to like about somebody, more than one something. Okay, finally they left. It's just you and me, Kirsty. No, just kidding. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's. I mean, it looks like that. Maybe, yeah. I don't. It's those uncertain feelings. It's like I'm trying to find some, you know, trying to figure out, you know. It is. What do you say? So it's probably close to dinner time. I really appreciate all your visiting, and the chat hasn't been super active, but the both of you have helped. Well, if all you were saying was hi, and I know that you said it, then yeah, I'm sure I did. I'm sorry. It's just my tablet is out in the kitchen charging right now, and like I say, I'm keeping a reminder there in a draft open for, like I said, something that's kind of late April that I'm sure that I'd remember. But sometimes I think my memory isn't great, and if I don't have that to look back at, I won't remember. So I've not been going there, but I'm sure I did. Hey, you were glad I left? No, I didn't say that. Oh, okay. Well, because it went from 4 to 1. And so I figured you were one of the other ones because it seemed like Kirsty was still here. And somehow, but I'm not feeling mixed feelings about you. I quite like you, so no worries. And I know that you were just joking a little bit. I'm not sure I could stream as long as the healing, to be fair. I don't know how I do it sometimes. So you can, I guess you went to say, how long has he been rolling for? I mean, my longest has been about 6 hours, I think, 5.5 hours or 6. That's not going to be today. Not now, not right now, anyway. Um, but, you know, when I'm having a relaxed day, no plans, it's, may not be the greatest outside. I don't drive, I don't have a lot of money. So on days where I don't have plans, live streaming is something to do. It keeps me company, it keeps others company, and with caffeine and little pauses in between, it caffeine and pauses in between. I have a coffee jingle I'll play for you next time. I don't have the energy for it right now, but maybe it could even be part of that synchronicity song. Um, but yeah, yeah, it helps. But I think, gonna wrap up now. I am satisfied with how this went during. If anybody enjoys it afterwards, tell your friends, not your enemies. Then happy about that too. They could use to have a little bit more love after they've been posted. But yeah, my throat is starting to feel it though. It truly is. Uh, I mean, you said think, but I have aphantasia. I'm musical. I'm a streamer, so I'm, even though my life otherwise, well, it's not that it doesn't, but doesn't have me talking a lot. I'm used to it, and I get a little bit raspy and a little bit of a sore throat sometimes. But I mean, you said thank God they left. It's just me and you, Kirsty. Uh, I meant you and Kirsty. Joking, don't worry. We know Thunder Bear, no worries. Yeah, no, I was really more, yeah, just more saying the ones that weren't saying anything that were. I feel like it's messing with my head. Maybe that's my anxiety. I feel like they're like I don't know what they're thinking, and I'd like to like what the, come on, you know. But some people are very immature, and they may not want to be a troll and bring that into the conversation, but they may sit there thinking certain things. Um, Sometimes devices are being wonky. Um, some people have really strong social anxiety, and I met a few of those on here. They finally say something to me. One might actually be coming to visit in the summer. The name's Thunder Bear. Just kidding, but maybe. Anyway, and it's like you're shy towards me, but then I can't remember if it was myself that said it. I don't think it was an angel. I don't think it was them. I somewhat have a big personality. I think that there are some people that have a bigger personality, are more boisterous, but I could see how to some people, especially quieter people, they're just like, this guy's really interesting. So I try and tell myself these kind of things, but I don't know for sure if they're not saying, you know. Um, and I know social anxiety can be really hard for some people, but they might be thinking this guy's really boisterous. I'm enjoying watching, but I can't keep up with the conversation, or I don't want to put myself in the chat. It could be something like that, but it's not like we're scary people that seem like we bite or growl at them or anything like that, like a dog. So I don't. Anyway, well, it was nice to have you both here. I think that you all liked, although I think that maybe it was already at 4 before you came in, Thunder Bear. So if you're still here and you haven't liked, please do. Um, um, because I know that you have. Now, before more people get here and I'm going to feel awkward wrapping up, I'm going to do so. But the thing I wanted to say to whoever, I don't know if it's accurate that there's just one person watching, because it seemed like maybe a little earlier it wasn't, or it was just the timing. But we've got about, I believe, either 10 minutes or 40 minutes ish before Mark and Kelly's. Get yourself something to eat, perhaps, if you'd like. And, talking about angels, I feel like they would all say, okay, it looks like you left, but I'm going to finish my statement. I think I'm saying it, not them. But they agree with it. Cherish the people that you have around you right now. Really glad that you've been here, made time for me, but go and cherish them for a bit before Mark and Kelly. Okay? And we'll talk to you again shortly. And well, yeah, it takes a bit more energy to do a long stream, but you're watching for quite a long time, and that's also very, very great. Cherish your loved ones. Be with them for a little while before you're the next thing. And at 2 3 2s, bye for now. Take care. Be well. Wishing you all the best. and wishing to believe that you're good people that deserve to have the best wished upon you. Even if you're struggling, it does not necessarily mean you're a bad person. So, as long as you're doing your best to be a good person, to kind of start with the thought from earlier in the stream, near the beginning, similar to this, as long as you're doing your best to be a good person for yourself and others, no matter what life is being like for you, you're doing a good job. You're doing it right. You're making your angels proud. You should be making yourself proud. You're making others happy with you. And rock on.